Welcome back to Solid Sport with your host, Jason.
And Shawn.
And what's up with that?
I just thought I'd change it up some.
Okay, that's fine.
Not
Maybe
all
next
right.
time I'll change it up. I'm gonna change it up next time. I think so.
Why?
Just because I want to copy you.
You should be normal.
I want to be in. Oh, that's too bad. God didn't make me normal, so you can blame him for that one. But yeah, welcome back to Solid Sports, everybody. We're going to try something a little different in this segment. We haven't really done this before. Picks of the week. Shawn, he asked me today if I was down for it, and I've kind of wanted to maybe do something like this, but we weren't really sure what to do, what not. So, Shawn, I'm gonna let you lead it off, man.
So we've from time to time we've talked like whatever comic book we were reading or that sort of thing, and even round fives are kind of similar. But I watched that documentary on Netflix about Blockbuster, and they had the shot of this just quick shot of an end cap that had the employees' picks. And I was like, oh, yeah, dude, I remember that because, you get like your favorite employee and you're like, yeah, I want to see a movie that, they're into right now. And I thought, why don't we try that on the show? Let's mix it up a little bit. And so instead of giving a whole 5 top whatever or bottom whatevers, we are doing our pick of the week. So this can be anything. This can be music, it can be movies, it can be books, it could be sports, it could be just whatever it is that we happen to be into for the time being, and it's something that we thought we would like to share with our listeners. So, and that's essentially all of what round 5 is, as well as sharing with our listeners what our thoughts or opinions are. So this is going to boil it down to only one item instead of 5. I'll go ahead and start off because I don't see that you have anything typed yet. So, my pick of the week, I've really been into tea. So I'm going to encourage our listeners to explore tea.
Okay.
Now, I don't mean go to the grocery store and buy a jug of pure leaf tea. Okay. Although that's fine. That's fine. Don't get me wrong. That's fine. But explore tea, and that's been my thing lately, is that I've been exploring tea. Now, I've always been a coffee guy, and I know a lot about coffees, not near as much as what there is to know about coffee, but I know quite a bit about coffee. And it's been a long time love of mine. And I've always loved tea as well, but I've never really delved into it. And I'm still learning. There's a lot of stuff out there about tea, about brewing times and temperatures and that sort of stuff. But tea, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's room temp, doesn't really matter. Some teas taste better at one temperature versus another. Whether you're into green tea, white tea, rooibos, herbal, whatever. My thing lately has been rooibos. So rooibos is a tea that is brewed from a plant in Africa, but is not a tea leaf. So it falls into that herbal category. So and to me, I think herbal teas are probably the fun part of the tea spectrum. I'm a big fan of an of an Earl Grey, or actually I'm more into Welsh teas.
So, more popular.
Yeah, and it's kind of the cliche, I guess. Thank you, Jean-Luc. But hot. But herbals are kind of this fun area where you can do almost anything in the world with it. In fact, I've got some over here that just picked up recently, using the cherry shells from the cocoa bean and brewing tea from it. So, I mean, all sorts of cool stuff that you can do that way. So it doesn't have to be just the leaves of a traditional tea plant. The rooibos has lots of great benefits to it. So, like if you're into making sure that whatever it is that you're putting into your body is healthy, that it has some sort of extra benefit to it. So, normally speaking, I don't know that I've ever seen a rooibos that's not all phyto organic, and all that other stuff. but it does have other attributes to it that actually help lower blood sugar. So as a diabetic, that's a positive for me. It's not necessarily like going to just totally bring my sugar down,
Right.
but it is going to help with that stabilization process. So, hey, why not drink it? And it tastes good. So, a lot of times it's paired up with some other things. So, it's not just a rooibos. But the green is actually healthier for you than the red rooibos. The differences being things in terms of how it's being treated, that sort of stuff. But what's cool that I've been exploring more of is drinking teas without any kind of sweetener whatsoever, so that way I can really focus on the flavors, the complex flavors within a tea. August Uncommon Tea is one of my favorite sites. I usually prefer to buy local, and I do. But August Uncommon does have a lot of great tea varieties, so I definitely recommend checking them out. They've got brewers, infusers, all sorts of great stuff like that, and lots of wonderful information about teas. But they have wonderful fruity teas. It's the summertime. It's hot. You probably don't want to drink a hot tea, although I do every morning. But go ahead and brew up some herbal iced tea. And that way it's refreshing. You're not getting the extra caffeine in the middle of the day, which usually makes your stomach go flip flop in the summertime because of the heat. So it's going to be refreshing, but it's not just plain water either. Maybe you enjoy the lemon in your water or infused fruit or something like that. And that's great too. I do some of that. My daughter loves doing that, but an herbal tea, why not get some additional health benefit from it? So that's what I've been into. There's a wonderful chocolate chai tea that's also a rooibos. Tastes wonderful with an oat milk. Now, I'm not normally the kind of guy that likes milk in his tea, but this is really good. Really good stuff. And unfortunately, I don't know where to tell you to get that except from Lenoka Coffee. Lenoka Coffee is a local place to this area, so you can look them up online. You can find them on Instagram, and they'll be more than happy to ship you some of their tea.
How do you spell that? Do you know?
Lenoka?
Yeah.
Lanoco. Lenoka. I'm sorry, A. Actually, I've got
Lanoc.
Yeah, give me just one quick second. I've got it right here.
Like Lenocoa. Let's see. Lanoca. Lanoca.
Yeah.
Tea?
So since I'm blind, I actually do have to bring it closer to me. Lanoca. Lenoka.
Okay.
Yeah. So and they do awesome coffee, by the way. We always buy their coffee, but they have a chocolate mint rooibos, which is phenomenal. Put a little bit of oat milk in there, and if you like it sweet, I recommend honey for this one. But you can also do monk fruit if you're looking for a low calorie. And monk fruit right now, honestly, is probably my favorite non-sugar sweetener.
Yeah, so I gotta find a different sweetener because I know, even I drink sugar-free creamer with equal, and my sugar still goes up. I don't know if it's just the caffeination that maybe, because I know a lot of times when a diabetic is stressed in general, it causes your hydrocortisone to pump, which causes your blood sugar to go up.
Well, the creamer is a dairy, so it has some carbs in it, but not usually enough to make it go up like that.
Yeah, but mine can go up. So Shawn, real quick, within a minute, tell us if you how to make a good cup of hot coffee or a tea for anybody who's never had it.
Honestly, it's going to depend on the type of tea as to what temperature that you get your water up to. Usually steep times are only about 5 minutes. I aim for about a 200-degree water as sort of a general temperature. But I like my teas extra strong, so I usually let it steep for about 10 to 15 minutes. And sometimes it's cooled off by then too, so it makes it easier to drink. So that's sort of me in a nutshell for tea. I did have sort of an honorable mention. I said coffee. This is a fun coffee drink to have during the summertime. Try an affogato. So Google it. It's coffee, ice cream, and it's phenomenal. So.
Gotcha. Cool deal, man. So mine this week, it's not an edible thing. I've been killing it on Audible. From I think I signed up in March. I've gotten 37 titles.
Whoa!
And I've returned 4, so really 41.
Wow.
Which means I purchased a lot of extra books aside from my monthly.
But have you listened to all of them in this amount of time?
Yes. The only one. So there's one book called Woven that my wife wanted to get, which was supposed to be like learning life lessons from all of the Bible. So they take certain periods of time in the Bible and you learn how to apply those different principles to your life. And I got a book very similar to that called Living God's Word, which would be a book I'd recommend. It's by J. Scott Duvall. It released on July 1st, June 1st. Sorry, it was June 1st, 2021 it released. And I actually almost pre-ordered it, but I didn't want to hold on to a credit. So I just bought it when it came out. But so one book there was 2 books that I wanted to recommend that I read here lately. One is Lasting Impact by Carey Nieuwhof. NIU. Let me put it in the banner here because it might be kind of hard to spell. So Carey NIEU.
Up there.
There we go. So Carey Nieuwhof's got a book called Lasting Impact, and which is really good. It's
I see it.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of geared towards churches and how churches can make a lasting impact. But he's also got a podcast I'd recommend. It's a leadership podcast. But I've been doing a lot of leadership type stuff here lately because, more of a leadership role at church is what I'll be doing in the long run. So that's really good. And then another book that I recommend, and this is for anybody, really anybody in leadership, period. But more specifically, if you're leading from a place that's not in that top spot. So it's called Leading from the Second Chair. But really any level of management can really receive something good from it. And it helped me to understand that not everybody needs to be the top dog in an organization. Not everybody needs to be the lead pastor. Not everybody needs to be number one, unless you're on Star Trek, which number 1 is number 2. So that's the only, I guess, caveat to that. Yeah, you like that, didn't you?
That sounds much like potty talk to me, but okay.
No, but anyway, so the whole concept is learning how to lead under someone else's leadership. So how do you have freedom in your own personal calling, your personal expression of who you are, without trying to overtake the top person's role of leadership? And they cover different areas in ministry and organizations, about vision and all sorts of stuff. And so if you're in any type of leadership role anywhere, I would recommend that book. And that definitely, and both of these books can be utilized in the regular marketplace, not necessarily just the church setting.
Sure.
But that's been really good. And I'm currently listening to, and I guess I can go ahead and recommend it, is 7 Practices of Effective Ministry. And this is Andy Stanley, Reggie Joyner, and Lane Jones. Premise of this book is 7 practices that you can take, 7 steps that you can take to advance your mission and whatever that may be. So again, whether it's business, whether it's ministry, the concepts actually came from the owner of a baseball team that he gave to a pastor. And so it was worked out to where this pastor got into an ownership box at I guess it was a World Series or playoff game or something, with this owner of this baseball team. And he gave him all sorts of practical tips and advice. And the book's not that long. I think if you listen to it, it's a total of maybe like 4 hours, 4 and some change. But I listen to everything on like 1.5 speed, so I get through it a little bit quicker. But that was really good too. So I'm learning a lot. And if you like podcasts, I enjoy audiobooks more than podcasts, because
Don't say that. This is a podcast.
Okay. Well, if you like audiobooks, it'll be better than this podcast, because because audiobooks give you just the meat. Like in a podcast format, say someone's promoting a book, right? And this happens all the time. Every time someone releases a book, they go do podcast all the time. And part of me wonders, I'm like, why am I listening to the audio? Or why would I want to read the book if they're talking about the same stuff on a podcast? Because usually in books,
they don't cover it all.
They don't cover it all, but the book is more, I guess, concentrated.
Yeah.
Where the podcast is more watered down, and you got to get through a lot of other, like catching up and all this other talk that's not related to the actual topic. And so I really enjoy audiobooks even more so than podcasts. I still listen to podcasts, some, not as much as I used to. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been into this past week and just in general, a lot of audiobooks. And so I think I got to get back on my Star Wars kick because I've listened to a couple of different season books on Audible, and I took a break and I started listening to Play Dead by Ted Decker, who was a Christian author. If you like horror type movies or thrillers or stuff like that, Ted Decker and Fred Peretti are two people I recommend as far as author. Frank Peretti. What did I say? Ted?
Fred. You kind of combined Frank.
I did. Yeah, Fred. Cleverly, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So that's it for our picks of the week. Let us know if you enjoy this. We want to be of benefit to you who listen. We don't want to just give you stuff with it meaning absolutely nothing. And in general, we would, any feedback that you have for us, you can let us know, whether on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram, via email, solomonsportspodcast@gmail.com. And because we want to be a benefit to you, we don't want to waste your time and waste our time by wasting your time.
But also remember to there it is. Subscribe. Click the subscribe button.
Oh yeah, have I said that?
No, not at all yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because we got a long time before we can monetize this thing. But that would be one way you can kind of support the show by subscribing and watching the content.
Yeah.
Because you got to have, I think, either 4,000 or 40,000 viewing hours of the show on YouTube, which I can't do that myself. And also 1,000 subscribers before you can ever monetize. So we got a long way to go, and we don't do this to monetize. We do it to be a blessing to everybody out there who needs the content, and we hope it is. So we want to keep this thing going. And
but it does cost us out of pocket, so
it does.
It'd be nice to be able to have some support for that.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, we'll be back soon. We're going to talk about kind of an important topic. I think anything biblical is important.
Yeah.
But I think this is very important in today's context. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.